Good morning, guys. Welcome to my replay viewers. Thank you guys so much for jumping in, checking out my broadcast. Sorry I missed you live, but so glad you guys took some time to check it out. What is up to my live crew this morning? Great to see y'all this morning. So glad to have you here. I appreciate y'all coming in and hang out with me on this Wednesday morning. Good morning to you, Maggie Graham. Thanks for coming in, girl. Sherry, what's happening, girl? It's nice to see you. Daniel, what's up? Hope your girl's coming in here as well this morning. Autumn, good morning to you. Tracy and Adam, I see you guys. Brian, I see you on YouTube. Alexis, great morning to you. Haven't seen you in a bit. Appreciate you coming in on Periscope. Y'all are amazing, and I appreciate you. We're going to talk about momentum. We're going to talk about how to become unstoppable in your life and business. Does that sound good, y'all, this morning? I'm going to talk to you guys about a very powerful series of things that you really should and could be doing on a day-to-day basis that will give you a momentum that will position you to be unstoppable. People that are unstoppable in their life and business are intentional. They don't go about their day happenstantially. I don't even know if that's a word, but it came out right. Happenstantially, Justin said it. All right. I wanna get you making moves intentionally. Get yourself setting yourself up with some momentum to really become unstoppable this morning, this quarter, this year, and accomplishing what you need to get done. So we're going to talk about how to create that, how to do that this morning. That is our topic for today, all right? Good morning to you, Victoria. Appreciate you, Rachel. What's up, girl? Appreciate you coming in. Michelle, good morning to you. All you guys that know me, you know who I am, you know how I roll. I would love to have you hit that share button, get it out to your people this morning, all right? And then if anybody's brand new, if you've never seen me before, if you have no idea who I am, first of all, welcome. I would love to greet you into the broadcast and say hello. If you want to give me a hashtag first time and let me know if it is the first time you've ever seen me, I would love to say hello, and my crew would love to make you feel welcome. So let me know if it is the first time you have ever joined in with us. And then lastly, guys, I love and very much appreciate excuse me, my replay viewers. If you are watching this on the replay, I would love for you to know that you can comment and interact with this broadcast. I'd love for you to give me a hashtag replay. I do see those comments and I do respond to those as well, so I would love to know that you were here, all right? Martin, what's up, buddy? Dale, good morning to you. Appreciate y'all. Y'all are amazing. We're going to roll, guys, because you know I do not waste my time and I choose not to waste yours, so let's jam. All right, y'all, that is who I am. That is what I do. Justin Kaplan Pro is my name. JustinKaplanPro.com is my website. I'm a startup business mentor and a branding strategist that specializes in helping startup entrepreneurs just like you turn your passion, turn your gifting, turn your idea into a profitable and sustainable brand that rises up in this challenging digital marketplace to draw in the 21st century consumers that want and need what you have to offer. Guys, I broadcast live every single weekday morning from Tuesday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, hooking you guys up with business building tips, hacks, and principles. Anything I can give you to help you grow your business, expand your ministry, bring your vision to life, and grow that brand of yours online in this digital marketplace. All right, shall we roll? Good morning, Maggie. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate y'all. Y'all are amazing. We're going to talk today about momentum, how to create an unstoppable momentum in your life and business. I got a lot that I want to take you through this morning. Excited for you to get applying some of this stuff. As always, I challenge you to take notes. I will capture my information at the end of the broadcast, but take the notes and get the information that applies to you in your hands and in your notebook. All right. You know, I like to start out with quotes every day. Today, I'm going to start out with definitions. Definition is a little different today, but I want to unpack momentum because before we can figure out how we're going to establish and create an unstoppable momentum, we got to define what a momentum is. So it's funny. I went through and I've gone through and researched definitions of momentum, and it's funny, if you go Google momentum, you'll get a variety of different definitions of it, because I think a momentum can be described in different ways depending on what you're talking about. So I looked up all these definitions of momentum, and when I did this, I couldn't really find one particular definition that described to me what my perspective of momentum is. Developing momentum as a business owner and in business, as someone who, because you know what momentum is, right? you can feel it. Like, you can feel it when you start clicking and you start making the right moves and doing the right things, and just, it seems like everything, it's like we call it everything's aligning, or I got a favor all over me right now, or we describe it in certain ways, but you can feel it when you've got some momentum. Y'all agree with that? And so I'm like, I want a definition that describes that feeling. So what I did is I took a couple different definitions and I kind of blended them together to create the JC Pro definition of momentum. All right, so this is my definition of momentum, and you can write this down. Someone can put this in the chat room if you like to. So the momentum that we're talking about today is the power, strength, and speed gained by the development of a ritual process. That is my definition of momentum. A power, strength, and speed gained by the development of a ritual process. Now, how many of y'all does power, strength, and speed resonate with you? Like, and this is what I think. This is how I look at it. When I think of power, I don't think of you know, I guess the way I would describe powerful is establishing a powerful presence that's disruptive. It's a presence that you can't ignore it. It's like, man, every word that comes out of your mouth, every action that you take, every connection that you make, everything that you drop in the market, it's got power behind it. It's recognizable. It stands out. Power. When I think of strength, I think of not necessarily muscles, but I think of unwavering. I think of something that's got backbone behind it. I think of something that can stand pressure, something that can stand adversity, something that can stand difficulty. You know, strength in your business is very, very powerful. Strength in your character is very, very necessary. So power and strength, and then speed is, I want to move faster than what's normal. I choose to accomplish things quicker than what most people think can be done. What would normally take years, I choose to get it done in months. What would normally take months, I would choose to get it done in days. And what would normally take days, I choose to get it done in hours. Right? Just speed. So a power, strength, and speed gained by the development of a ritual process. So that sounds good, right? Now, ritual process is actually not my chosen word. That was actually one of the words in the definitions that I looked up. So I'm like, this is interesting. Ritual process is interesting, and I like the term ritual process. It stands out to me. So I'm like, if I'm gonna unpack this, I can't just give you a definition of momentum. I need to go further. So the biggest word that stands out to me when I read this is ritual. What does that mean? Ritual. So I look at the definition of rituals. This is the definition of rituals. The definition of rituals is a series of actions or behavior that are regularly and invariably followed by an individual. That's hot, right? A series of actions or behavior that are regularly and invariably followed by an individual. That is a ritual. Good morning, Matt. Good to see you, buddy. All right. So rituals. So now we're like, all right, so momentum, developing an unstoppable momentum is creating a power, strength, and speed, which is gained by the development of a ritual process. What is a ritual process? A ritual process is a series of actions or behavior that are regularly and invariably followed by an individual. Now that definition I did not modify. That is the definition of rituals. So when I read through this, I'm like, all right, there's some words that stand out there in me, but the key one is invariably. The invariably stands out to me because regularly is but invariably is, yep, that's a word. So I look up the definition of invariably. The definition of invariably is in every case and on every occasion, always. I haven't even got it into my points yet today, but I'm setting this all up for you to get you to recognize that an unstoppable momentum is about choosing a series of actions that are going to absolutely set you up for success, and being so committed to them and have such a resolve to them that you follow them regularly, invariably, in every case and on every occasion, always, period. That is how you develop an unstoppable momentum. You got to have intention behind what you are doing and how you are doing it every single day, all right? So we're going to talk about what those actions are, and I'm going to give you a few tips on those. Now, I have 10 of these, so we're going to go quick because I want to get you out of here in time, all right? So 10 things. The first one I'm going to give you, I'm just going to start ripping right through these. And as I get through these 10, I also have a few key things that I really need you to understand about rituals that I'm going to share with you at the end of the broadcast as well, because it's crucial for you to get this. This is necessary for any and every business owner. You've got to have this established. And Victoria is rocking out the definitions. I appreciate you putting that in there, Victoria, all right? Number one. The first piece of establishing a unstoppable momentum is planning and preparation. Now, I'm going to shrink these things down real small today and make them as digestible as possible and as applicable as possible. All right. Good morning, Catherine. Good morning, Camille. Good morning, Mel. I appreciate you guys, and I see you in here. So I'm making these as practical and as applicable as possible. We're going to make this very small and very digestible on a day-to-day basis. We're talking day-to-day stuff. Development of a ritual day-to-day process, all right? Number one, planning and preparation. So this is what I'm going to challenge you to do. I'm going to challenge you starting today, if you're not already doing this, to give yourself a minimum of 30 minutes at the end of your day to plan your tomorrow. That's it. Now, I'm just curious. Give me a 1 if you currently... Be honest. Give me a 1 if you currently give yourself time at the end of the day to plan your tomorrow and you are methodical about doing that every single day. For me, it's usually about 45 minutes. But realistically, if you don't have a bazillion things going on in your world, 30 minutes is very realistic. You might even get it done in 20. How many of y'all do that on a day-to-day basis? Sherry does. Victoria does. If you do not currently do that, that is an absolute necessity to developing momentum, because you cannot develop a momentum if you do not know what direction you are going. I want you to imagine you are standing on the top of a mountain and you have a ball that you want to roll. You want to roll your business down a mountain tomorrow, all right? If you're standing on top of the mountain, if you've thought, if you want to get the ball to the bottom as quickly as possible, then the best thing that you need to do is you need to be able to assess the mountain. Which direction is going to be the right direction to go? What is going to be my best path? What obstacles are going to come up? What unforeseen stuff is going to come up? What's the weather going to look like? What time do I need to start? How heavy is the ball? Do I need any gear? Do I need any material? Whatever, right? So you want to do this thing. If you plan that thing ahead of time and you have your path mapped out, you have the obstacles identified, you have your equipment, you have your time of day, you're ready to go. Then when you get up in the morning, you're on top of your mountain, you got your hands on your ball, and all I need to go is go, and you can push and you can go that thing. But if you wake up today and you're like, I think I want to roll the ball down a mountain. What ball do I want to start with? What mountain should I go down? I guess, what time should we get up there? And then you get up there and you're like, I don't know what direction to push it. I'm hungry. Maybe we should eat lunch first. You know what I'm saying? That's how probably at least half of you, if not more than half of you, are operating your businesses. You're waking up today trying to figure out what you're going to do today. All right, so planning and preparation is crucial. You've got to spend at least 30 minutes the night before planning your tomorrow, and it does something. This is not just about being diligent and being disciplined in your business. The reason why this is so powerful for me, the reason why I do this specifically, is because it's not just a matter of mapping out my day, which I do. I want to map out my day. I want to have crystal clear in my head what I do need to focus on tomorrow and what I don't need to focus on tomorrow. The Bible says stay within your day. There's stuff that rolls around in my head. That's stuff that's coming up a week from now, a month from now, 6 months from now. And there's stuff that I need to accomplish today. So there's certain things when I go out and I plan my day, I'm like, all right, this is where my mind needs to be on tomorrow. This is things I need to focus on tomorrow. And then when I look at that list, I can run through my mind and be like, I don't need to be worrying about this right now. I don't need to be thinking about this right now. I don't have time to plan for that tomorrow. So tomorrow, this is my focus, and I shift and I narrow my focus to what's in front of me. Then I take time to review that list right before I go to bed. So I usually plan that out right around 5:30, 6 o'clock hour-ish, and I always have it down here on my desk. And then I go about my evening with my family, and just before we go to bed, I come down to my office, I grab my list, and I probably spend 5 minutes just refreshing my mind on what I have to do tomorrow, and then I go to bed. Why do you do that, Justin? Because when you go to bed, your subconscious is still working. So if I go to bed crystal clear on what I need to work on today, then I'm going to go to sleep and my subconscious is going to be thinking about that list and it's going to work on some stuff for me. And it's going to clarify some stuff for me. It's going to sort through some issues for me. And I wake up in the morning so clear and so focused on what I need to accomplish. I've got momentum as soon as I hop out of bed. All right. So planning and preparation is crucial. Number 2, I'm going to be real fast about this one, is your alarm clock. Set it at the time that is necessary and get your butt out of bed. Business owners don't hit snooze. Get out of bed. Get out of bed when you said you were going to. Get out of bed when you know you need to. This is simply a matter of discipline. You got to get your butt out of bed because the snooze button will absolutely derail your day. And this is the thing. This is the way I look at it. I'll give you point number 3 too. Point number 3 is your first 60 minutes. The way you spend your first 60 minutes of the day will completely set up your day, positively or negatively. Some of y'all spend your first 60 minutes of the day hitting snooze, literally, like you hit your snooze 8 times, and then you wonder why your day is full of procrastination and delays and unforeseen stuff, and you feel tired. It's because that's how you start your day every single day. But when you start your day with intent, you set that alarm. It's something about and those guys that you're up and you get right out of bed and you get right about your morning and you really, really are intentional with that first 60 minutes. Do y'all agree that it does something to your brain? It activates something in you, I think. Y'all agree with that? Like it for me, it activates me. And listen, I love sleeping. I love it. I would love to sleep in every morning. But I know how powerful it is when you wake up and you wake up with intent and you get about your day early. It will absolutely shift something and it will trigger something in you, and it starts that momentum right off the day. Sherry made a great point, says you got to get to bed on time to get out of bed on time. So true. So many people will try to set themselves up with a powerful morning routine, but they struggle with a disciplined evening routine. I personally believe it is impossible to have an effective morning routine if you do not have a disciplined evening routine. If you go to bed at 9 o'clock one night, then you go to bed at midnight the other night, then you go to bed at 11 the next night, then one night you're up to 1 because you got a lot of work to do. You can't be bouncing all over the place every evening and then still try to be methodical while getting up at 5 every morning. It just won't work. So morning and evening routine is very important, but alarm clock is crucial. I'm going to straight challenge you on every one of these. So if you are currently very disciplined with your morning alarm clock and you pop out of bed, awesome. You can skip this point and get on to 2. If you are a snoozer, if you are inconsistent about when you get up, I want you to choose today what time you need to get your butt out of bed and start it tomorrow morning. Do you commit to that? Put I commit in the chat stream if you commit to that. I commit to it. Alarm clock, choose your time. Now for me, I understand that when my alarm goes off, it takes me a minute to wake my business up. So I give myself 30 minutes. I want to be out of bed by 5 o'clock. So I set my alarm for 4:30. My alarm goes off at 4:30. And when my alarm goes off at 4:30, I shut off my alarm and then I go into my phone and I clear notifications. Because I hate having all the little red dots on all my apps, and I spend about 30 minutes just seeing what's going on Facebook, checking all my stuff, clearing my notifications, then I'm out of bed by 5. So I give myself 30 minutes to wake up. And I know that I can't set my alarm for 5 and pop out of bed at 5. So if you know you want to get out of bed at 5 o'clock, don't set your alarm for 5. Set your alarm for 4:15 or 4:45 or whatever, however much time it takes you to get out. Set that alarm early to give yourself some time if that's necessary. I already brought this up, your first 60 minutes, but your first 60 minutes, be intentional about that first 60 minutes. And again, recognizing that your first 60 minutes of the day can oftentimes represent the way the rest of your day is going to go. I spend the first 60 minutes of my day in prayer and studying the Word. And usually my first 30 minutes is just talking to the Lord. I don't have to have a format to it. I can't wait till it gets a little bit warm because I'm in Michigan and it's a little chilly. I almost went for a walk this morning, but something about the outdoors just fuels my senses and just anybody else feel that way? I love being outdoors, especially in the morning with the Lord. And spent a lot of time outdoors. Every morning when I was in Phoenix with my retreat, every morning we got up and we hiked up the mountain to go watch the sunset. Just something about being outdoors just connects me to the Lord. So I just want to talk to the Lord. I want to talk about what's on my mind. I want to think. I want to pray. I want to ask for clarity. And then that usually goes for about 30 minutes or so. And then I spend at least 30 minutes digging in to the Word. That's my first 30 minutes or my first 60 minutes of the day is just marinating on what the Lord has for me today. Then I get about what I have to do. So your first 60 minutes is important. And there's, I can feel it in the air. I feel that there's people going, well, Justin, I've got to do this when I get up. I've got kids that I have to get around. I've got this, I've got that, I've got this, I've got that. Then get up earlier. If you don't have time for the things that you feel like you need to do when you get up, if you feel like you're automatically serving everybody else when you get up, then get up earlier. Right? I said it, Maggie Graham, didn't I? I think Maggie would agree with me. If you don't have time to do the things that you want to do or feel like you need to do first thing in the morning, then get up earlier. Well, Justin, I guess, but I don't know how if I could. Then go to bed earlier. I think the first 60 minutes of your day is crucial. This is your momentum, not mine. We're talking about yours, all right? Number 4, it's important to talk about, is your sweet spot. You've got to identify your sweet spot. Everybody's got one. Now, the sweet spot's tricky because everybody's sweet spot's different. But this is what I would ask you. Think about this. Ask yourself, at what time of day or what block of day are you the most focused, the most energetic, the most clear? When are you at your very best? When are you able to get the most work done? When are you able to think the clearest? Everybody's got it. You got a time of day that you operate, and it's your sweet spot. My sweet spot is 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. That's when I'm at my very best. That's when I'm the most focused. I'm still pretty good from 10 up until 2, 3 in the afternoon. But as soon as I start crossing in later into the afternoon, I slow down a little bit. I start getting tired. My brain starts getting tired. But that morning time, that 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. is my absolute sweet spot. And I leverage that. That's why I broadcast in the mornings, because I'm at my best. That's when I'm at my best. Is when I can think the clearest. Be sure to identify. Do you know what? I'm curious. If you know what your sweet spot is, put it in the chat stream. And I usually find it's usually a 3 or 4 hour block. Sometimes it's more. I don't think it's 6. I don't think it's not like a 6 or 8 hour block. Your sweet spot's usually a small window. Catherine's sweet spot is 10 p.m. You know what, Catherine? If that's your sweet spot, then you figure out I know a lot of people that are night owls where their sweet spot's in the evening, and that's when they operate at their best. So that's when you have to kind of figure out your schedule and figure out how you can leverage that time when you're the clearest and when you're able to think the clearest. But your sweet spot is important. It's important to understand when your sweet spot is and understand how to leverage that, all right? That's number 4. We're going to keep going. Number 5, we're talking about momentum. How to create an unstoppable momentum. We talked about the definition of momentum as a power, strength, and speed gained by the development of a ritual process. So what I'm giving you are just some ideas on what should and could become your ritual process. We've talked about planning your day the night before, your alarm clock when you get up, the first 60 minutes of your day, your sweet spot. The number 5, it's just important to recognize for everybody, is you need to understand what your 80-20 is. All right. Now, we don't have time to sit and unpack 80-20, but if you've ever heard of the 80-20 rule, the 80-20 is that 20% of your actions produce 80% of your results. It's small blocks, very specific things that you do produce 80% of your results. 20% of your actions produce 80% of your results, but it's also vice versa. 80% of the things that you're doing are only producing 20% of your results. And I find, as I work with all my clients and the people that I get to engage with, I find that most people are focused on their 80 and not their 20. 80 is the busy work. 80 is the stuff that you feel like you have to do. 80 is the noise. 80 is the stuff that you feel like... 80 is the stuff that's not well thought out. 80 is the stuff that you haven't really planned strategically. It's busy work. And the thing is that if I asked you this, a good way to identify your 20 is that if I ask you, what are your key income producing or results producing activities? Do you know what those are? Income producing or results producing activities are the most powerful things that you do to generate results in your business. It doesn't have to necessarily be financial results, just results. Results are new connections, new relationships, building and growing current relationships, creating product to sell, creating opportunity to connect, creating content to engage, operating your systems so your business can run, doing your taxes is a results producing activity, because you're not going to be in business very long if you don't do your taxes. Doing your legal stuff, setting up your business foundation and structure. These are all things that are necessities to operate a business. Things that might fall into your 80 are watching YouTube video after YouTube video after YouTube video, learning things when you should be doing things. Second guessing yourself and redoing work that you've already done. Scrolling and wearing fingerprints off on social media. A good example of 80 is going to social media without an intention. I don't go to social media without intention. If I open up a social media app, I'm going there for a reason. I do the reason and then I'm leaving. I don't just sit and scroll on Facebook. All right, that can be an 80 because that's a time waster. You have no intent behind it. So your 80-20 is you got to figure out what it is that is your 80 and what it is that's your 20. What are the specific actions that you need to do every day that are going to drive results? And the thing is that I find that when I ask people what are your key results producing or income producing activities, I would say probably 70% of people that I ask that question to can't answer that question. I don't know. I don't know what my key in income producing or results producing activities are. I don't know what the key, most important things that I need to be doing on a daily or weekly basis are. Most people don't know. That's your first problem. If you don't know that, you've got to figure that out. You've got to figure out what is the most important actions that I must absolutely do every single day without fail. Invariably, in every case and on every occasion, always, religiously, without fail. You have to do them. Because I know that these are the drivers of my business. So the first problem is many people don't know what those things are. The second problem is that the people that do know what those things are don't commit those things to their schedule. I had a conversation with someone last week. I asked him, what are your key results producing activities? He said, I believe I know what they are. And he listed them out for me, this, and this. So I said, so those are the key things that you believe are driving your business forward. They're necessities for your business. Is that right? He said, yeah. I said, all right. In the last 30 days, no, I asked him in the last week. I said, in the last week, how many hours did you spend on those income producing activities or results producing activities? He said, well, last week was a little funky. I said, no, don't tell me what happened last week. Just tell me last week, how many hours did you spend on those key results producing activities? Want to know what the answer was? 0. And he went right into, well, this happened. I had this going on. I said, all right, let's back up 1 week. How about the week before that? How many hours did you spend on those key results producing activities? 0. Why? I don't know, Justin. No, that's not an answer. You know. Why? Get to the meat of it. Why are you know what these activities are? Why are you allowing yourself to be so busy that you're not giving any time to the key activities that your business requires of you? He said, I'm busy. I'm allowing myself to be busy. And that's common. y'all. You've got to recognize when you're getting so busy doing all the mundane things that you're not doing the necessary things for your business. You've got to be making connections. You got to be turning your business on, turning your open sign on for the day, and creating opportunity, giving people a chance to connect to you. You have to. Those are key things that you have to be doing every single day. All right, I got to keep going because I'm already at 30 minutes. All right, y'all know I like to talk. 80-20, it's important. Number 6 is a hit list. This is something that's spectacular. It's something that I do, and it's one of my most highly, what's the word? People tell me all the time this changed their world when they do this. I keep a hit list, all right? I always have a running hit list on my desk. And this little notepad is always on my desk. This is what a hit list does for me. This is my distraction list, all right? Y'all know that we get inundated with distractions every day, right? You're gonna sit down and you're in your sweet spot, and it's time for you to focus on something. And when you focus on something, as soon as you get going to work, then your mind starts going to work. If I was to ask you what is the number one distraction that you have in your business, I would get all kinds of responses. But the responses would be Facebook, email, my dogs, my kids, my office. No, it's none of those things. The number one distraction in your business is your brain. Your brain fires. You're like, you get going, you sit down to start working on something, all of a sudden you're like, did I call back that person that I need to call back? I need to call them back real quick. Then you get to working, oh man, mom sent me a text earlier, I forgot to respond to it. I got to send that. I need to empty the dishwasher. I need to take the dog out. I need to figure out what I'm going to have for dinner for tonight. I need to go grocery shopping, right? So every time you sit down to work on something, your mind starts firing, right? Of all the things that are going on up there. That's where a hit list becomes powerful. So I always have a running hit list, and this is a to-do list for me of small things. So if I sit down and I'm trying to focus on something, I have prepared to work on something. If something comes to my mind, I need to email the school about that thing. As soon as if something comes into my mind as a distraction, I'll grab my hit list, I'll write that down. Email school about the thing for Ethan, and I set it aside. I just took that distraction, put it down on the list, and set it aside, and I'm right back to work, and I don't skip a beat. And I'm writing, got to respond to, I need to text mom back. I'll write out here, text mom, and I'll drop it, and I'll go back. And so I allow myself to stay focused on what I need to do, and I'll pull the distraction that comes in and drop it down on my list. Then, so what happens is, throughout the day, I have this hit list that grows, right? So then, all the things that are on here are small things. They're small tasks, 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 minutes max, usually, right? So I have this small list. So then, I'm going to get done with my broadcast today, probably around 8:45. And I don't have my first client call today until 9. So I got a 15-minute window. So when I have a 15-minute window where I'm in a gap between one thing and another, I'll grab my hit list and I'll be like, all right, I can send that email to the school real quick. I'll type the email, send it, bam, cross that out. I can text mom real quick. I'll text mom back, cross that off. And I'll start working through my list, and I'll use the hit list as fillers in my day. So I'm never unproductive. Wow, Master Chief, you can split, buddy. Not that I don't want you to learn something this morning, but I don't do cussing. Sorry about that, y'all. Country boys had to go. So hit list is important. Hit list is very, very powerful. If you find yourself constantly distracted throughout the day, I challenge you to get yourself a little bit of list. So whenever you get distracted, drop a little list down, and then you can use that to be super productive. So when I go throughout my day and I'm in between appointments and I'm in between things, I usually every single day, not always, but almost every single day, I'm almost always have that entire hit list knocked off. And those are all things that needed to be done. So it kind of creates a secondary little to-do list for me, but it's strategic in the way I do it, if that makes sense. All right? That's a hit list. I'm just gonna say these last few real fast because we gotta go. All right. Number 7 is trim the fat. Trim the fat is recognizing. Trimming the fat is separating your good from your great. It's recognizing what you're spending your time and energy on that's just good, and then recognizing the great things that you have and making sure that you're making room for the great things to expand and unfold. And be able to manifest. because good is the enemy of great. And a lot of us get so caught up being busy and focused on just the good things that we don't give the great things the opportunity to really unfold. So trimming the fat is being able to recognize that. You have to be able to recognize what's good, what's great, what is a good use of my time today, and then what is the best use of my time today. I ask myself that every single day when I'm planning my tomorrow. That 30 minutes at the end of the day when I'm planning my tomorrow, what is the best use of my day tomorrow? I've got this, and this. I got this going on. I got this call. I know I'm going to be in this mindset. What is the best thing for me to focus on tomorrow? What's the best thing for me to accomplish tomorrow? What's the best use of my time in the morning? What's the best project for me to work on between 2 and 4 when I have that gap in between calls? What's the best thing for me to do in the evening since my kids are going to be at their event? What's the best thing? And trimming the fat is sorting your good from your best, okay? Number 8, self-care. Y'all get it. It's important. Daily. I'm not the preacher preaching to the choir. I'm in the choir, y'all. This is myself included. Get up out your chair. Get moving. Eat well. Fuel your body. Take care of your temple. Do what's necessary for you to be at your best. You can't create a momentum out of a ball that's broken, right? You got to take care of you. Self-care is crucial. Number 9 is recap and reset. Recap and reset. Again, recap and reset is what I do at the end of the day prior to planning my day. So before I go into my 30 minutes of planning or 40 minutes of planning at the end of the day for tomorrow, I recap my day and I look at what happened today. What did I accomplish today? What were my priorities? Were they accomplished? What did I learn today? Who did I connect to today? And I just recap my day, kind of compress it, summarize it, and then I move into planning my tomorrow to make sure that I'm rolling my today momentum into my tomorrow. Constantly keeping it going, constantly tying it together. That's number 9. Number 10, as I said, if you can't see it, if you can't see it, you can't affect it. There's a quote that I learned when I worked in corporate, said what gets measured gets managed. And I added to it and created my own quote that says what gets measured, gets managed, gets multiplied. That's how I go about business. What gets measured, gets managed, gets multiplied. If you can't manage what you're not tracking. You can't manage what you're not looking at. You are a business owner, but you're also a business manager. You have to manage your business. You have to understand what's working, what's not working. And it's very hard to do that if you can't see it. You got to give yourself an opportunity and a way to see what's going on in your business. One of the best ways that you can do that is just start noting the things that you want to keep track of. Like, what do you want to keep track of? A great place to start, if you don't have any business revenue yet, you're not generating clients yet, one of the things that you can do is you can track your connections. Every new connection. I did this. That's how I started my business, one connection at a time. I would make a new connection on Periscope. It could be dead country boys from Periscope. Probably not, though. But it could be. Who knows? But I could, maybe I say someone that gives me a hashtag first time. So maybe it's Alex that gives me a hashtag first time. And I'm like, awesome. So as I'm going through my broadcast, somebody comes in, Alex comes in and says hashtag first time. I'm like, awesome, Alex, welcome, man. I'm so glad that you're here. I'll write down on my hit list, Alex, and I'll write down his last name. And I'll write down new, and I'll circle it. And then I'll come down, and I'll just keep on talking. You guys will see that when I'm talking, I'm always have a pen in my hand. That's because I have my notes right here in front of me, and things will come up. I've wrote down 2 different things on my hit list today since I've been talking to you, because one person came into this room that reminded me of something. So I wrote that down. Got to do that. And then another person come in. Yep, got to do that. Wrote that on my list. And so I'm constantly taking notes of things that I need to remember. And so, again, even with this list, I mean, this list is a perfect example of being able to see what needs to be done. So I'm pulling these things out of my mind and I'm getting them into a place where I can see it and I can track it and I can execute it, right? Because if you don't write it down, I'm going to forget. Don't rely on your memory. Don't rely on your memory, y'all. Your memory will fail you. Give yourself the opportunity. Give yourself your best shot at accomplishing what needs to be accomplished and remembering what needs to be remembered. Because if you don't, you will be a master procrastinator or you'll be a master forgetter. Some of you guys forget stuff like crazy, and then you remember later, and then you're like, oh, crap, I had to do that, right? And you know what that does? That oh, crap moment destroys your momentum. Because why? Because you have to go backwards. I have to go back to do something. And anytime you have to go backwards, you've stopped your momentum. Okay? That's 10 quick things. Now, the last things I want to give you real fast is I want to just tell you real quick about what rituals are. And we're going to be out of here in 5 minutes, okay? First of all, what I gave you this morning are ideas. All right, everyone needs to figure out your own ritual process. You need to figure out what the most important tasks are for your day, and you need to plan those for yourself. What I just gave you are a bit of what I do and how I do it, what makes me create momentum in my business. But you have to figure yourself for your own, all right? But the first thing I want to tell you about rituals is that rituals are symbolic, they are meaningful, and they are created with a purpose. You have to know why you're doing that thing. I know why I do every single one of these things that I do. None of these things are happenstance. I do it because it does something for me. It does something for my mind. It does something for my energy. It's just the way I click. It's the way I operate. So every single thing that I have in my daily ritual process, I know why I do it. Because it fuels me. It's symbolic. It's meaningful to me. So I do it with a purpose. All right. That's important. Is whatever you put into your ritual process for a day, is it has to be there for a reason. You have to know why you're doing it, and you have to be putting that on your list with a purpose. The second thing is that rituals are internally motivated. I want you to get this. All right. Rituals are internally motivated. No one should have to remind you. No one should have to inspire you. No one should have to encourage you to follow through on your daily ritual process. It has to be internally motivated. I push that button because there's so many that rely on external motivation to get out of bed in the morning. They rely on external motivation to do the work that's necessary in their business. It has to be internally motivated. Do you get that? It has to drive you. It has to fuel you. This is your baby. It's your business. It's your brand. It's your content. It's your clients. No one should have to inspire you to follow through on your clients. No one should have to motivate you to come out and turn your business open sign on and connect to people today. No one should have to remind you to follow through or to make the notes or to do the thing. No one should have to remind you to leverage your sweet spot today. It has to be internally motivated. It has to come from you, from within. All right? Next, rituals are self-appointed. Meaning, the decision has to be yours. You can't feel strong-armed. You can't feel manipulated. If you get out of bed tomorrow earlier with the mindset of, well, I have to do this because Justin told me so, it won't last. What's up, John? That's to you, buddy. If you get out of bed because you feel like Justin told you so, it won't last. You got to get out of bed because you're like, you know what? This is important to me. I'm important to me. My business is important to me. It has to be self-appointed. The decision has to be yours. Whatever you put on your ritual process has to be decided on by you. Don't feel like you have to. You feel like you choose to. I choose to do this because I know it's necessary. All right? 2 left for you. Rituals require an all-in mentality. I'm going to go back to my first description of momentum. A power, strength, and speed gained by the development of a ritual process. Ritual process requires an all-in mentality. You don't establish an unstoppable momentum in your business by going halfway, by showing up today but then not tomorrow. It has to require an all-in mentality. Either do it or don't do it at all. All in or all out. All right? Last one is rituals should be the foundation of your 20 and not your 80. Your ritual process is your 20. These are the 20% of actions that produce 80% of your results. If you're trying to figure out what the heck your 20 is, what the heck your results producing activities are, this is it. this is a great place to start, all right? Here's your summary of points up on the screen, okay? Summary of points, there's my definitions at the beginning, the 10 things I gave you, as well as what the rituals are at the end. I know it's a lot. I tried to put that into 30 minutes, but I just could not do it. Well, that's what I got for you today, guys. I put that up on the screen so you can snapshot that and take that with you today. If you're on a mobile device, turn your mobile device sideways. That'll fill up the screen. Snap it, take it, work with it, see what you need to do today to be better. And again, I gave this in bite-sized, small bite-sized enough chunks for you as possible. My challenge for you is to look over this for yourself and establish, what do I need to change? What do I need to do differently? What do I need to give myself the opportunity to really, really focus on, so I can establish a powerful process and a powerful momentum in my business as I move into the month of March, all right? That's what I got for you today, guys. My mission for you is that. Do the work. If you need my help, y'all, reach out to me. It's my pleasure to help. You guys know how to get a hold of me. My website, my email is right down here. Contact info is there. You guys can reach out to me through Facebook if you need my help. It's my pleasure to serve. Yeah, I got tons of great resources on my website you can connect to. Also, actually, just real quick, I have another training. It's a 2-hour training on this process. If you want to get connected to that, shoot me an email, JustinCapronPro@gmail.com. If you're like, Justin, I need more on this. I have a training that I've done for my inner circle that I'll hook you up with. I also have a guide. I don't think that's on my website. I have a guide, a daily ritual process guide that walks you through setting that up. If you want to get a hold of that, y'all, shoot me an email, JustinCapronPro@gmail.com. Justin, I'd love to get the daily ritual process content, and I'll hook you up with that. No charge. Just want to help you with it, all right? Guys, have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I know you have options for where you spend your time in the morning, so I appreciate you spending your time with me. Be intentional with your time and talent today. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you guys all around the web, all right? Take care. God bless. I'll see you later.